Good afternoon, or good evening, or good morning, depending on when you're watching this video. But it is afternoon here and now. I said that I would try and get all of this run done in one day, but as I mentioned, I am an adult and I did not get that opportunity. So it's a couple days later, and we're going to finish off this pretty broken feeling draft with this Prismari deck. Now, I have reflected on the two games that we played, and I think that there's one small change that I wanted to make. I took out Teach by Example, and I put in Sudden Breakthrough. And my logic behind that was that Teach by Example is a powerful spell, but it doesn't really do anything by itself. Which makes it cuttable. It can make our already existing plays a little better. It also didn't work very well with Mizzix's Mastery because Teach by Example copies a spell that you have cast. But Mizzix's Mastery doesn't cast the spells from your graveyard. It exiles them and then copies them, which does not give you that cast trigger. That's a pretty minor thing, but ultimately I think that Sudden Breakthrough will be better because it is a decent combat trick that can save our creatures, makes our creatures go a little bit further, which is what we need because we're a very creature-light deck. It also works really nicely with Stormkiln Artist, which we have a lot of, because Stormkiln Artist will make a treasure when you cast Sudden Breakthrough, and so will Sudden Breakthrough. So you'll get two treasures off of casting it, which will give Stormkiln Artist +2, and then it'll also get, if you're targeting it with the spell, another +2 from Sudden Breakthrough and First Strike. So with just these two cards and no other treasures on the battlefield, Stormkiln Artist becomes a 7/2 with First Strike, which is good enough to trade with most big creatures that we're going to come across. And I feel like that's better than being able to copy a Prismari command or something. So we're going to give this a go. We're going to jump back in. We've got everything that we need. 17 lands is running. I've got some Huel, excellent brain food for those big plays, which this deck needs. I don't actually know how good the deck is. I feel like Mizzix's Mastery is just super broken. How the deck plays without Mizzix's Mastery, not sure. This is a keep. We're going first, which is lovely. We have a really nice curve. Probably won't Academic Dispute on 1 because there's nothing we really want to learn for, and we have a 2, 3, 4 curve anyway. So let's keep this. Let's get a mountain down. Oh. Excuse me. Okay, let's get our Prismari Apprentice down. Our opponents played an island. If they're Quandrix, I think we have a very good hand against them, because this is super aggressive. They are Quandrix, which is good for us. So, let's see. I think we just go in with the Tome Shredder, start dealing them some damage. What could they have? I don't think there's any good bounce spells. There is the fight spell in blue-green. Boro Befuddler, okay. That's actually quite good. I probably should have taken that into account. But that's fine, they've traded off with the Tome Shredder, which we don't really want to exile our spells with Tome Shredder because we want to cast a very big Mizzix's Mastery at some point. So we're probably going to play Stormkiln Artist here, so I'll go for the attack first. Cool. Yeah, so Tome Shredder is a little bit weaker in this deck for that reason. I'm actually fine with trading it off with the Burrowed Befuddler, but we still should have seen that coming. Waterfall Aerialist. We can kill that. Do we want to kill it is the question. I mean, yes, we do. Because what we can do is academic dispute. We'll target it so it has to... Oh, does it have ward? Oh, it does have ward. Okay, so we'll target this with academic dispute. And we have a lesson in our library, Start from Scratch, which can deal 1 damage to this waterfall area list. And we can pay the ward cost, which is probably worth it here. There we go. Yeah, we should make plenty of treasures off of this Stormkiln Artist. I don't know if Quandrix has many good ways to fight it. It's a good aggressive creature. This is big, but this is fine. Do we want another Stormkiln Artist? We could play Serpentine Curve, make a 3/3, turn this into a 4-power creature. And then double block the Witherboom, Pledge Mage. Doesn't feel like enough. We're not going to double block it on the way back. We want to keep up the aggression and we want to trade with this. So I'm going to play the Serpentine Curve and then offer the trade. I will trade both of these for a Pledge Mage if the opponent attacks. So we'll just go in with this. And then the turn. So if they take the trade, then we can play out another Stormkiln Artist and it's not too big a deal. Opponent didn't attack. Mizzix's Mastery is okay here. It's not the greatest. We'll cast these 3. Is that really worth it? I don't think it is. Don't have good attacks. Don't really want to give them the time to ramp. I don't think this is Mizzix's Mastery. I'm going to play Stormkiln Artist and hope that I can play a bunch of spells next turn to make these big enough to trade with the Witherbloom Pledge Mage. So we'll give the opponent a turn here. Now Mizzix's Mastery next turn makes a massive ton of treasures if we overload it. Which may not end the game on the spot like it has in the past, but it will give us enough of an advantage, I think. These things are big. But once all the treasures are made, I will trade the Stormkiln Artists for them. Do we want to play Expressive Iteration instead? I mean, this is 0 mana, right? Because we're getting 2 treasures off of each one. So, yes. We will put the Pledge Mage into our hand. The, I don't think it matters, the Mountain into the library so we can play out the island. We don't have any fight spells. This is good, but I think now we just overload this. It feels like it's fine. You have to block. We've got enough treasures to just kill this thing. 1 damage here, yes. Do all the things, make all the treasures. Let's pay for that, because we're going to be making so much treasure, the ward cost is like negligible now. Let's put the thrill into our hand. No, let's put the Biblioplex into our hand. The thrill, the mountain into the library, the thrill into exile. No, you can't have reach. Let's take environmental sciences. Cast environmental sciences. I think we just have lethal hit, yeah, we do. Because the Stormkill artists will be so big that, I mean, I don't think that was, I don't think it was going to work out very well for the opponent. So Mystics Mastery proving to just be absolutely busted. Even a relatively unimpressive one is just insane. What an insane spell. Stormkill Artist also very, very good in combination. I mean, we're just getting such a crazy chain of triggers together. I don't think there's many things in this format that I've seen that can overcome this. In general, I think that the Mystical Archive cards have been really good. They're a good balance. There are a couple that I think are very busted. And I would definitely say that Mystics Mastery is one of them. But it's not bad. And, you know, they're so infrequent in packs that I don't think it's a bad thing. I really like the inclusion of these cards. This is fine. So we've got the Stormkill Artist Sudden Breakthrough combo, which might be nice. Expressive Iteration is really nice here. Do we want to cast it though? I prefer to cast it when I can exile a land and then play it for the turn. And we might do that. We might take this a little slower. We've got a 3 now. We've got a 3/4 curve, so I'm just going to cast it now. So we want the Academic Dispute in hand. I don't know when we're going to get the time to cast the Reject. So I'll put it back in the library, and I guess we'll use the Mountain. Nice to see, nice to see. So Spectacle Mage we do want to run out, but we don't need to do it right now. I'm happy to just play Prismari Command and make sure that we hit our treasure. So let's just end the turn, see what the opponent does. Controversially, I'm going to take 2 here, because I kind of want a better target than this Illustrious Historian. I want to see what the opponent plays out. Yeah, so Prismari Apprentice is better for us to hit here. I think it's worth the 2 damage. So we'll make the token, we'll deal 2 damage, we'll target this, we'll target ourselves. We hit the land, which is excellent, and means that we can Stormkill Artist and Academic Dispute at instant speed if we want to. We'll just end the turn. No blocks. opponent is playing Prismari as well. So we can kill this with Sudden Breakthrough. And they are probably going to block with it, so we don't really feel compelled to use Academic Dispute. So let's just go in for an attack. See what the opponent does. They don't want to do it. I guess we could have used Academic Dispute to force them to block. It's too late now. Do I want to save this combat trick? Not really. I'm quite happy to just get in all this damage, because I want to cast these spells now so I can overload Mizzix's Mastery. We can cast this as well. Have we hit a land drop this turn? Let's just target this, make the opponent think we are incompetent. So we could take Environmental Sciences and get the land. Ooh, I probably want Spirit Summoning though, because casting it means that overloading Mizzix's Mastery next turn makes it 3-2, which is a bit better than just getting the land. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, make a treasure. That's 6, 7, and this will make it cost 1 less. So we could play out Spectacle Mage and Spirit Summoning, and I think we could still overload next turn if Spectacle Mage survives, which I think it would, because if they have removal, they're going to use it over here, right? So let's make a 3-2. But then we don't really need the Spectacle Mage down. Does it get better? It might get better. Next turn. Maybe we do want it down. Oh, I've done my maths wrong. We wouldn't be able to cast Mizzix's Mastery next turn if we play this out, so we won't. Academic Dispute's pretty nice. I'm in for this. What would we get? How much land have we got? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And this costs 8. What don't we like here? I guess the Pledge Mage. Let's take Environmental Sciences. I think it's better here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we can still do it all. One, two, three, and then there's 6 over here. So yeah, we can still do it all. Yeah, let's do it. Lots and lots and lots. What could the opponent do here? Frickin' shock this? You can have reach, and I will have this. I'll take a Mercurial Transformation. I think we actually have lethal here. Let's put this in our hand, this back into the library, this in exile. So what we can do is cast Mercurial Transformation, target this, have it become a 1/1 frog. Then we can cast Start from Scratch. 1 damage to any target. Put it here. I reckon they probably have like a bounce spell, like an Ether Helix or something. But this does put lethal on the board. Go to combat. Yeah, it was pretty good. Pretty good opponent. Pretty good. So let's play. I guess we're just sad now. Let's play this out. Yeah, we still got a lot of value off of that, and the opponent might be running out of gas. Another heated debate. So this is probably reasonably good. We academic dispute this. It has to block, because then we can just kill it with a Start from Scratch. Opponent has a heated debate in hand, but we have so much mana. Okay, they make a 2/2. So let's play out this island. Let's go to combat. If we play this out, it will just die, but we don't want it in our hand because we want to use the Biblioplex. And we might find something to do on our second main. What is it, a Tome Shredder? I think we take a Tome Shredder. So let's decline that, keep it on top, because the Tome Shredder might be lethal next turn. If the opponent spends their turn heated debating the Stormkiln Artist, then we will have lethal. All they have in hand is heated debate. They don't have enough mana to do both of these, so they can either make a blocker or remove an attacker. If they do that, we have lethal. I don't think there is anything that they can do. But let's go through the motions. So we reveal this because we can cast it. I think we do it now in case they trade with the Stormkiln Artist. But yeah, this was lethal on the board anyway. Yeah, again, yeah, even an unimpressive Mizzix's Mastery just gives us so much value that we then can close out the game, hopefully. It doesn't even feel close. This deck feels absurd. It feels so broken. This is the first time I have drafted Prismari, and I really am liking it. Even without Mizzix's Mastery, it seems like the deck's pretty good. Oh, okay. We're going first. We have a creature that we can play. We have a combat trick that makes a treasure. We do have 3 lands, just no blue. I'm going to keep this, but I think it's... you know, I think it's fine. So mountain. Okay, more mountains isn't really what we wanted. Let's get a Biblioplex down and let's present just a red-white aggro deck. Opponents also Prismari. We're finding nothing but mountains. Do we want to cast the treasure here? Do we want to cast Sudden Breakthrough to get the treasure? I think I do. I wouldn't necessarily recommend this, using a combat trick this way, but I think I want to do it here. Because I really do want to be able to cast this next turn and find an island to play. So we'll just end the turn. Ruther. So yeah, this is the one where you can pay 2 mana, return it to your hand, and you can copy any instant, sorcery instant that you control. Okay, so what we want to do here is Expressive Iteration. So we want the, I think I want the Retriever Phoenix more than the Pigment Storm. So Retriever Phoenix in the hand, put this back in the library, exile this island, play it, and then we can go in with our Tome Shredder. Is that worthwhile? I don't really want to exile either of these yet. Maybe we just get down the flyer. Yeah, let's go in the air. We don't have good attacks either way. We could have kind of represented a combat trick, but now they have their own flyer. And we just have mountains. So, what do we do now? Represent the double block. Yeah. Represent the double block because we're fine if the Phoenix dies. Let's see. I might want Environmental Sciences to get another land. Another blue. Start from scratch isn't really going to cut it. Spirit Summoning's probably our best bet, to be honest. Yeah. No attack from the opponent. Okay. Let's do another Expressive Iteration. I'm going to take the Thrill here because we've got lands to discard, so let's put the more expensive spell in our hand. The Reject back into the library, exile the Thrill. Thrill is an instant, but I think I'm casting it here because I want to find a blue land to play. Might change things if we find it. I'm not sure. The other option, well, we don't really have many other good options. Serpentine Curve seems good though, but we need the blue, so let's Thrill and discard these mountains. Oh, just one, of course. Read your cards, Josh. So there's our island. That's nice. Can't do anything with it right now, but still nice. No attacks. Next turn, we can Spirit Summoning and Serpentine Curve. Or we can Storm Kill an Artist and Spirit Summoning. That probably seems better. And we can make a big enough creature to get through our opponent's creatures. I think we're ahead here. Our opponent has just drawn a whole ton of cards. And now they have this unblockable thing. But I think we're still fine. So, we don't really want to play the tapped land. Because we want to play Storm Kill an Artist and a spell. Still no decent attacks, which is tricky. Our opponent's going to start getting in with the Prismari Apprentice. That's going to get pretty big. Happy to trade off this Phoenix because we can get it back pretty easily. We have lots of learn. We don't really have anything to do here, so let's get down our tap land. I think making a 6/6 is perfectly reasonable. And we can play out the Tome Shredder and start growing it. If I were to draw Mizzix's Mastery... I don't know, how big do we want this? Do we want to exile our spells? Not really. But it being a 3/3 feels relevant. So... still doesn't feel like we have any good attacks. Let's end the turn. Yeah, opponent's doing stuff. We need to start doing some stuff too. But we have an empty hand and a Biblioplex down, so maybe we can start gaining some card advantage that way. Yeah. Opponent's tapped out though. Do they have any good attacks? Not yet. Can't block that. Don't know why they're thinking about it. Oh, do I want to grow this? It being a 3/3 feels irrelevant now. I don't know. I do not know. I'm not going to grow it. Dust Speaker's good. So let's spill out our hand. And let's do this now in case we find something we want to cast. Let's put this island into our graveyard. We'll go to combat. And let's go with the 6/6 because we're happy with anything that it trades with. Nothing else has good attacks. Opponent's creature is getting bigger and bigger. Okay, what does Frost Trickster target? The 6/6? Sure. I don't think this is how Prismari matchups are supposed to go. We did it. God, this card is so insane. Okay, let's do it. Let's do some things. Let's cast Sudden Breakthrough on our... I think might want it on our Dust Speaker. Nah, let's put it on the Stormkiln Artist. Can't cast Thrill because we don't have any cards in hand. Probably want Elemental Master. Oh, hold on. We've got 6. Is this 8 treasures or is this 6? We can cast this, I think. But we might not want to do it this turn. So let's put you in our hand, you in exile. Oh, I did that completely wrong, but whatever. You in our hand, and then doesn't matter which way we do this. Can't get this one wrong, thank goodness. Let's go to combat. Swing with you, swing with you. Oh, we have no instants or sorceries in our graveyard for the Ardent Dust Speaker. Okay, fair enough. We'll play this and we can start getting in with it. I'm going to hold the Elemental Masterpiece. I'm going to put this out because it's a really good attacker. But I'll hold the Elemental Masterpiece to put a counter on the Prismari Apprentice, and then if it just comes down to a board stall, we're winning that race. Because ours will be slightly bigger, and we're on a higher life total. We have the Biblioplex and the Prismari Campus for the Scries if we need to dig up some more stuff to do. Elemental Masterpiece is a perfectly fine thing to do though. Okay, opponent has a 3/3 now as well that can't be blocked. But these 8/8s are staring each other down. These 6/6s aren't big enough. I am in for a Stormkiln Artist number 2. Let's not tap the Biblioplex. 5. 6. Oh shit, I only needed 6. What do we not want them to have? Maelstrom Muse. No, opponent gives up. I think that we were probably ahead there anyway. But that was a lot. I think we made mistakes in that match. But we would have been able to Academic Dispute, learn, get something, bring back the Phoenix. I think ultimately we would have won. That was a pretty hardcore board stall though. Opponent had a pretty similar deck to us, but Mizzix's Mastery just pushed us over the top. Yeah, let's go again. I don't feel like I'm playing this deck 100% accurately today. But it seems that it's powerful enough that it doesn't matter. I guess I haven't drafted much recently. I guess I haven't played much Magic recently. So we're in gold, I think, which could also be a factor. Gold at gold rank, you can't go down in ranks, and so it's hard to judge the skill level of people in gold. They could be relatively new to Magic. Although I think this person's in plat. I don't think you can go down a rank in gold. So again, we're on the play. We've been really lucky with that this draft. We have a 2, 3, 4 curve. We'll save this. We don't want to play that right away. But this is a glorious hand. Yeah, we'll try and save the Dispute and use it as a removal spell. We don't need to curve into like a Spirit Summoning or anything. We have a good curve in our hand. Let's get down the blue. So black makes me think that this is probably likely to get removed, but I'm okay with that. This card's fine. It is fine. It's not been a massive overperformer, I don't think. So we'll play the Mountain. We'll attack. We'll get the Pledge Mage down, and I'm doing this rather than Expressive Iteration because we are on the play and our opponent hasn't done anything yet, so we keep up the pressure, we keep up the aggro. Sedgemoor Witch is a really good card and we're happy to trade with it, and we're going to trade with it here. We're going to force it to block this this Lorehold Pledge Mage. So we, rather than... Oh, we missed a land drop as well. So we play Expressive Iteration. We try and find a land to play for the turn. Yeah, that works. So we'll take a Stormkiln Artist in hand. Maybe Tome Shredder would be better than the Artist here because it's a good aggressive card. But let's put the Tome Shredder back. Exile the Prismari Campus. Play it out. And then we can force this to block. We will pay the 3 life. We can afford to pay 3 life. It can have reach, and we will find... I want to make sure we hit our land drops. So I'm inclined to take Environmental Sciences, but we have Mizzix's Mastery in hand. We don't really need to hit our land drops now that we've got the Stormkiln Artist, so let's take a Spirit Summoning instead. Yeah, it's the better spell. So we go in with both. You have to block, you don't have a choice, I'm afraid. There goes your bomb rare. And next turn we can play out a Stormkiln Artist and probably just pass. But because the opponent, we can be proactive, the opponent has to respond to what's going on here. That's one way to do it, but they did tap out for that. Which doesn't seem super impressive. So we could keep up the counter spell, counter any creature that they play. But that would be all that we do, and that doesn't seem good enough. So I'm gonna just play out a Stormkiln Artist. Next turn, Spirit Summoning, make some mana. We can still get in with the Prismari Apprentice. So maybe I'm underrating this card. It being able to get in basically every turn is pretty useful. D-Spark, that is rude. So this could be Spirit Summoning Reject. And I think that it is. We keep up the pressure. I think that's a little bit more aggressive than Stormkiln Artist. If they don't play a creature here, they're gonna... Yeah, this is a excellent reject here. Combat Professor is very, very good. Definitely one that I'm happy to counter. Retriever Phoenix. This is such a good card. I think the question is, do we attack with everything? Ardent Dust Speaker is good, but Retriever Phoenix I want down. Our opponent has a lot of removal. They've used their Exile spell. I'm gonna go with Environmental Sciences here. Do we go with everything and trade for the Pilgrim of the Ages? I think so. We're going... yeah. This kind of guarantees that we get in for 4, which does put some pressure on our opponent. They can get the Pilgrim of the Ages back, but if they spend their turn doing that, we are fine. Reflective Golem is quite good. We could kill the Reflective Golem, or we could just make this unblockable. Right? So we can play a land this turn. We can Environmental Sciences, play a land. That gives us 4 mana, and then we could Sudden Breakthrough, and that leaves us with 3. Which isn't super impressive. Let's trade for the Golem. Now, I'm going to put Stormkiln Artist out rather than Environmental Sciences here. Because, again, the opponent needs to deal with this. If they just play a blocker for the Stormkiln Artist, then I'm going to get in for 4, and they're super low. Yeah, we just went straight on beat down. So the deck can be aggressive if we need it to, which is good to know. We did have Mizzix's Mastery, but we were a way off of casting it. We are finding the cards that we need every turn, every game though. I've not been super impressed with Tome Shredder, which I'm chewing on it. It's a good creature, but we just don't want to exile our spells. Is there anything else that we would play? Not really. Stonebound Mentor. Well, we're not splashing for that. There's nothing else we want to play on the 3-drop, and it is a fine creature. I think it did close out a game for us earlier. And you know what? Even if it's just a 3-mana 2/2 with haste, that's probably better than anything else we could put in. So let's play again, and let's go for the 7-0. Let's go for this. My first Strixhaven 7-0. Well, I probably jinxed it now. Now I feel like we're not likely to get it, but let's see. Let's go for it. If there is a deck that can 7-0 for the first time for me in Strixhaven, it is this one. Arena is taking the time to make sure that it finds us an opponent who can beat us, because it's all rigged to give you as close to a 50-50 win rate as possible. It's all a con. And bam, Ben Stark. Bam, Mythic 200, LSV. Now we're against Cantare. Canter? Oh, God, okay. Opponent goes first. We don't have blue. So if we keep this, we can dispute, and then we could dispute on 1. We have Expressive Iteration, but Environmental Sciences on 2, find the island. I don't know about this hand. But we have a removal spell, we have a draw spell, we have a creature. I'll keep it. I don't really like it. But it's probably better than our average 6. We drew the island. It's all worked out. We can't lose this game. We've already won. It's already over. I'm going to hold all of this and just pass the turn. I think that we're on the draw and we're against red-blue, so we're going to be a little bit more proactive. That's incorrect. Reactive. So we're going to sit back and wait for them to play out good stuff. Like this 2-2 flyer, which we can now get rid of. So we'll just pass the turn. Let them do their stuff. They are going to go to combat. Now we'll kill it. We could draw and discard, but no, let's just make treasures. Treasures have been really good for us. Opponent didn't do anything. You're going to do something now? Another Spectacle Mage. Fair enough. Okay, we could just Pigment Storm a Spectacle Mage. We could force it to trade with a Tome Shredder. Are we interested in doing either of those things? Are we? We could make a 3-2. I'm going to throw away the Tome Shredder and kill the Spectacle Mage because it does turn on their 5-mana spells next turn. So we do it like this. We make it block. We don't really need the land. We'll take the Spirit Summoning because, again, we have Mizzix's Mastery, and if we're going to copy a spell, Spirit Summoning is the one that we want to copy. You have to block. I offered you a trade. It's a 1-for-1, really, because our Academic Dispute kind of drew us a card, so really just a 1-for-1. But, I mean, that's as honest as removal is going to get. So we don't have a big enough creature to effectively block these. Vortex Runner is the bigger threat, so we probably want to Pigment Storm that. We've hit our land, so we do want to... We could just Pigment Storm, Expressive Iteration next turn, make sure we hit our land then as well. I'm fine with that. We're taking another 4, we're going down to 10, but the opponent is low on gas, and I don't know if they put a land on top of their library. I should have paid attention. But we can learn up kill spells for these, so I'm not too worried. We need to start considering our life total. This is also, not an aggressive card. Can they get back anything decent with it? Nope, they've got nothing to get back with it. So, Expressive Iteration, make sure we hit our land drop. Interesting. You go into our hand. You go... You go back into the library. And you go out so that you can trade. Nah, I think I would rather... Oh, I don't know. Let's put this back in our library. Exile this. And then... So we could play it out. No, let's not do another Expressive Iteration, try and find a land. That is a land, so... Lorehold Pledge Mage is the better blocker here. I'm going to put that into our hand. this into our library, exile this, and then we can play it, and we can play this. We can trade with one of their 2/1s, and we're happy with that because ours has some synergy in the graveyard. Next turn we can play out... oh, fine. Are we dead? So, this costs 7, and we can cast it. And it does make 2 blockers, which means we're not quite dead. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mana, so we could play out this. And this. And that's also 2 blockers, which means also not dead. But I think this is better. We could also overload Mizzix's Mastery, but that doesn't do enough. Actually, it kills 2 things. Kills 2 things. No. Let's just make these. If they can remove one, then we are dead. Oh man, yeah, we're dead. Oh, there goes the... There goes the... Oh no, we're not dead. No, we're not. We survive on 1. We don't want to block that. We take 4. But this turn we can overload Mizzix's Mastery and then we should be fine. So we 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 exactly, which means we can't do anything but overload Mizzix's Mastery. But that is okay. Hardly complaining, because we are casting a lot of good spells. So, Prismari Command, let's do 2 damage, and we'll make a treasure. Let's do the 2 damage to you. We make the treasure. Academic Dispute. This, we could force the trade. I think I'm probably fine with... Nah. Pigment Storm, we'll just kill this. Expressive Iteration, and then this. So, you go in hand, you back in the library, you into exile. You go in hand, we might be able to hold up a reject. You go back in the library, you go into exile. We made our own Academic Dispute fizzle. Excellent work. And we'll hold up the reject, so that if they play a creature, we can counter it. And I think we're in a pretty solid position here. Yeah, that is definitely one that we will counter. Happy to do that. Sad times for the opponent. Play land. So let's get our Stormkiln Artist down so that our sudden breakthrough and stuff is better. Yeah, I think we just go to combat now. The opponent has to block. Sudden breakthrough is +2. So that would be 10. 10 isn't 13, so let it happen. And I think it's with only 5 mana, Let's see, we can pay 3 and then we have 3. So we could play out Lorehold, Pledge Mage and Spirit Summoning. That seems best. That's incorrect because we have 2 blue. So I guess we're ending the turn. All our opponent needs is like a Prismari command or something to end us here. But if we make it through the turn, I think we win. What is this shit? Okay, yeah, if that's all they do with their turn, we can deal with that. We have plenty of things to do. We can make a 10/10. We can play out this creature. And we can... actually trigger the Biblioplex if we want to at instant speed, because we can cast a sudden breakthrough, make a treasure, and then we can sack the 2 treasures and do the Biblioplex things. I think the opponent's dead here. Yep. Unless they have something, they are dead here. So we can play this out. And then we go to combat and attack. Whichever one they let through will be lethal. I mean, they have to block the 10/10. We cast this, target this, it gets +2, and then it gets +1 from its own ability, makes 5. Exactsies. That was close. We had a slow hand, they had an aggressive start, we took a lot of damage, but we just managed to hold on. We should have seen Pillar Drop Warden bringing back Tempted by the Arik, but even then, I don't think there was a better play than making the 2 4/4s on that particular turn. So I think we won, which is the best that we can hope for, but it was close, and I will definitely look back on the game and see whether I made a dangerous mistake somewhere. But we went 7-0. Prismari is pretty strong in Strixhaven draft. Mizzix's Mastery is absolutely completely broken. Completely broken. Every game that we had it, we won easily. We didn't see it in that last game, and we still did win, but it was close. But Mizzix's Mastery just pushed this deck over the top. So we got back all of our gems, 6 packs, super happy. That was super fun. I think that looking back on the draft, I remember there was one point where we passed on a Pigment Storm and took something else. I can't recall. Maybe looking back on the draft, I'll take a look at the turns where we picked a Tome Shredder, because I think Tome Shredder was pretty weak in that deck. It didn't really synergize with what the rest of the deck was trying to do. Lesson for next time, but if we can replicate that anytime, then we're pretty happy. So I'm going to sign off. We'll catch you guys in the next draft run. Bye for now.